So my favorite thing to collect in anime or anything in general is artwork. I think artwork is amazing, the way that artists or the official creators can create a piece and all you're looking at is just their artwork. You don't have to worry about a figure or anything. It's just pure artwork. And one thing that anime loves to do is put that artwork on wall scrolls. Wall scrolls are the most popular form of poster in general in anime. And over my 3, 4 years now of collecting anime stuff, I've accumulated quite a number of wall scrolls. And unfortunately, with wall scrolls, you run out of space very, very quickly to display all of them. So I've had to put a lot of my wall scrolls into storage. So today, I'm going to show you every wall scroll I have on display and all of them that I have in storage. So we're going to get into that today. First off, I'm going to show you everything that I have in my collection, and then we'll get into everything that I have in my storage. So the first one here is this one from the Love Live series. I have the main 4 girls from the first 4 series. I love this wall scroll. It looks so good. And it's big enough to display right behind this little opening in the shelf here. So it looks really good. And whenever I have the light on, it shines on them, makes it light up. I have my CDs in front of this, even though I'm probably going to move these before too long. But it looks really good. One of my favorites. The next one here is in the corner, and that is Conan from the Love Live. When they came to Anime Expo, they sold these, and they had a few left over whenever I went to Anime NYC. So I picked one up, and I don't really like that it's obviously LA and that all the stuff is. So kind of takes away from it, in my opinion. But I do really like it, and it adds, since this whole wall is Love Live, I like having a Love Live thing here, and I will show you here in a little bit what actually used to be here, but really like this one. And the last of the 3 things I have on display is this Licorice Recoil one. I really like this one. It's a newer one that I've added to the collection. It's only been up here for maybe about 6 months, but really like it. It's kind of simple, but I think it really works over here in this corner. Now this corner is kind of being shifted into a cyberpunk corner, so will I eventually replace this with something cyberpunk? Maybe, but for now, I do enjoy this one here. Also one of my favorites. So the first ever wall scroll that I ever bought was this one. It was the Rent-A-Girlfriend, the 3 of them in their, or the 4 of them in their swimsuits. This was a promotion that went on at, I forgot the uh, store that it was at a promotion for, but you could order any item and you was going to get some free stuff. So I wanted to get a wall scroll as well as an acrylic stand of Ruka. So I got that, and then I got some free stuff. And this was the first time I was ever exposed to a wall scroll. I adore this one. It is sentimental to me a ton. And while I have ran out of space to display it, still one of my favorite wall scrolls. I love the designs in this one. It was in my collection, the very first collection posts that I ever put out onto the internet. If you see it here, I was very excited to have this up there. So, always one of my favorites, even though I have to store it now. These next 2 were the next 2 posters that I got, or wall scrolls that I got for my collection. And like that, they were also Rent-A-Girlfriend. I was big on Rent-A-Girlfriend for a while. I still am, but really big for a while. The first one of them was Ruka, just a solo Ruka. Now, this was a wall scroll you could buy direct from Crunchyroll for a while, and I really liked this one. I actually displayed this one for a while in my collection right beside the other one, and then after a little while, I changed over and displayed this one, which is Chizuru from Rent-A-Girlfriend. Same size, so I just swapped out the posters, but no real preference on them. I think they're both really good. They're the key art from season 1, so really cool. I don't think they sell these anymore, but they're a different type of poster as well. You can see here it's a black much beefier type of mount there than the standard little white ones that you get, but still pretty good. I just don't have any room for something this big anymore, but very still one that I like a lot. Keeping up with the Rent-A-Girlfriend line here, I have this one. This one I have never actually been able to display in my collection, but I really like it, and I was hoping I would have a spot for it, but I actually bought something else while this one was being shipped that I wanted to put up instead, so it never got to be in the collection, but I really like this, and if I ever maybe hung these up somewhere else in the house, this one would be one of the first ones I would hang up because I really like all the artwork here. It really shows the change from early Rent-A-Girlfriend stuff where they were less detailed. They really improved the detail as the years have gone on. So really like this one. The next two here are from the same set, and the first of which is Ruka. You'll notice here I didn't get any Mommy or Sumi ones. I just got Ruka and Chizuru because they're my two favorites. They have always been my two favorites. And with this line, it was the lingerie line. So I just thought, well, that's probably never going to be made into a figure, I thought. But I was excited to have some kind of merch for that because I thought, well, we'll never get anything that spicy type in a figure. But this was the Ruka one. And then what I thought we'd never get a figure of, but we actually did get a figure of, was the Chizuru version. And if you watched my video from 2 days ago, you'll see that we did get Chizuru in this pose in a figure, which is really cool. So now I have the poster, the wall scroll from a year before that figure was even announced, and then we eventually got the figure itself, which I also have up there. So, and the final one for the Rent-A-Girlfriend line that I have is this one. And if you saw earlier, I had the Conan poster, the wall scroll that is over there. I actually used to have this one hanging right where that was. And I'll show you here in a minute what I had before this one. But the only reason I changed that was because I wanted that whole wall to be Love Live. And Ruka was kind of just sitting there in just this random spot. So unfortunately, whenever I decided that, Ruka had nowhere to go. But I do really like this one. I think it shows off her goofy look here really well. And it was just a really fun one to have. Now, this is actually called a life-size poster because it's supposed to be life-size in like compared to you. So cool idea here, but they take up so much room as you can see here. This one, if I sit it on the floor, it is just under my height. So very tall posters here. Now, before I had Ruka hanging up there, I actually had this one, which is Itsuki from the Quintessential Quintuplets. This is also a life-size poster. Now, what's unique about this one is that this is actually a body pillow design that they put on a wall scroll. So, if you're unaware what a body pillow is, you know what a body pillow is. If you're this deep down the anime rabbit hole, you've seen an anime body pillow before. But this was a design that they took from one of them and they put it onto a wall scroll. So really cool if they did that. And I really liked her character. And I almost bought the complete set of these, all the quintuplets, but I ended up not doing that. And I'm glad I did because I definitely wouldn't have had space for them now. And like Ruka, unfortunately, I just didn't have space for that. That was really the only spot in the collection that I had something that tall for. So unfortunately, I'm not able to display this or Ruka anymore. Now, the next one, we're keeping with the quintessential quintuplets, but we're going to look at Nino here. And this one was a Ami Ami exclusive that you could get whenever you pre-order the quintessential quintuplets game for either Switch or PlayStation 4 at the time. I got it for Switch, and they gave me this Nino poster wall scroll. Never really displayed this one either. It was cool to have, but the only way you could have got this full set of them in their swimsuits here was pre-ordering it from 5 different retailers, all in Japan. So 2 of them you couldn't even pre-order from if you were based in the US, so I couldn't have even got them. I think they were Itsuki and Miku, if I remember. But I could have got Yotsuba and Ichika, but I decided no, I'm not going to do that because I don't want 5 versions of the same game. But it was cool to get the Nino one, and I wanted the game anyway, so just a little bonus there, but I never had space for it, and I was never going to display just her on by herself. The next one up here is, let me pronounce it right, Tsukasa from Tonikawa. This one was actually in my collection for a really long time. It was actually right where the Licorice Recoil poster is. I actually had this for a long time. And eventually I just decided I like Licorice Recoil a little bit more. I am behind on the anime and the manga for this, so I didn't dislike the series. I actually liked the series quite well, but I just had other priorities that I wanted to watch and read. So I decided it was probably best that I go ahead and put her away. But it was really cool to have her. I really liked this one a lot with the sunflowers and the sky. It was a very pretty piece to have in the collection, but unfortunately had to go into the storage while another thing took its place. This one also stayed in the collection for a really long time, and that is Yuna here from Kuma 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 Bear. Really like her character and really like the entire series. So I loved having this one. But like the Ruka and Chizuru earlier, it's just so big. Like this is a massive wall scroll. But really, really well done here. Like it's a little bit thicker than some of the other ones. It's like the Ruka and the Chizuru one is a little bit thicker. So really high quality. I don't like the little rod that goes in the top and bottom here. It actually breaks apart in the middle. It's not one full thing. So whenever I would hang this, what would happen is as you can see there, it would bend in the middle. And I didn't like that. So eventually I decided to take this one down because I thought it took away a little bit from the collection having something that was bent all the time. Could I have probably found a better way to hang it with a better rod or something? Yeah, but I was not that attached to it. And whenever I found the Licorice Recoil one, I decided to move on to that instead of this. Now, one that hung in my collection for probably longer than any of them is this one. It is a K-On! Poster, and I loved this one. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I believe this one is not official. I have no clue where I got this from. I can't remember. It was actually the third or it was the fourth wall scroll that I ever put in my collection. And I got it right about the same time that I got Yui's guitar. So I hung this beside Yui's guitar. It was in the old house. Eventually moved here, and I've been here for going on 2.5 years. So it was in the collection for a long time. And I actually just replaced it about a year ago whenever I put the Yor and the Marin and the Bochi artwork up from actual artists. I put them up and I replaced this. So this was a good part of the collection for a long time. It served its purpose, but it was time to finally put it away. Now, I actually have 2 of these, and they're 2 separate ones, but they're 2 of the same character, and they're both Rico from Love Live. And the way I got these was, like the Nino, I got a pre-order bonus for pre-ordering the Yohane games, and they gave me Rico both times from shopping with Ami Ami. And as I stated in the Ami Ami video, I'm not a huge Rico fan. I like Rico, she's cool, but she's not my favorite. So I was never going to display these, and I hate that because they look nice. They turned out really nice. But unfortunately, it's just not a character that I was willing to take up this much wall space for. And if it would have been like Yohane or Chica or Ruby, maybe, but not Rico. I'm sorry. Let's stick with the Love Live series here for a minute. And these are actually the smallest wall scrolls that I have in my collection. And we'll try to go over them all here at the same time. These are tiny little wall scrolls that you got for each of the original Superstar members. They had all of them here, if I can hold on to all of them at the same time. I liked these a lot, but they kind of, because I bought all 5 of them, I wanted all 5 of them to hang beside one another. And because of their tall length here and kind of short width, I never was able to find a good place in the collection for them. They are really neat, but I just never was able to really find a good spot for them. but I'm glad to have them, and I think they're neat. But like I said, just never really was able to find a good spot that I was happy with these in the collection. Next up here is an anime that I really liked whenever it first came out, and that is Selection Project. This is the official art, like the poster for the series. I was really excited whenever I got this, and I was really excited when this anime came out. But then I started watching more anime, and I realized Idly Pride is just a better Selection Project, and Love Live is a better Idol series, and Idol Master is a better Idol series. So it was neat, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for its time, and I really loved the series, and it probably got me into Idols quicker than if I wouldn't have watched it. But I realize now it was not as good as I thought it would be, uh, watching other things and being able to compare it to it. So I wouldn't display it now, and I probably wouldn't have bought this now. But at the time, it meant a lot to me. Speaking of Idolmaster, let's talk about this one that I got for the pre-ordering and buying all of the Idolmaster U149 on Blu-ray from Ami Ami. I got this, and it is the main girl from U149, and it's just really nice. I like this a lot. It's very well printed here. Like it's a very well. It's hard to describe fabric, but it's a very nice fabric. And I don't know why this one is so well done, because the Love Live ones that I got for pre-order bonuses weren't this good. The Nino one wasn't this good, but this one is really nice. And I wish I had somewhere to display this one. This is probably on the top 3 that if I could display it, I would display it, but I just don't have the space for it. It's about the same size as the K-On one, so I couldn't display the K-On one. But if I did have the K-On one still up, this would probably replace it. But really like this one, and it's a shame I can't display it. Now, this one actually replaced the Selection Project one whenever I got it, and that is this one. It is, let me try to pronounce it right, Review Starlight. This is a really good anime. I loved this anime. And this is a casual look for all the characters in it. Loved this. I thought it was really cool, and it hung up in my collection for a few months. Uh, Eventually, I replaced it with the Bell soundtrack and the Anime NYC skateboard, but it was really cool to have in my collection for a while. And I'm glad that I have some other things to show off this series in the collection, because it is one of my favorite series still, and this was a great wall scroll for the time being. Now, the next one here, I actually had to take out of the packaging to show you. So this is actually the first time that I've ever actually looked at it, and that is Lum from Urusei Yatsura. It is a series that I have been meaning to watch. I have watched all of the clips for it, and I think it looks great, but I just haven't sat down to watch it. And so I bought this, pre-ordered it, thinking that I would be well into the series by the time it arrived. I didn't, but it's still really cool. But unfortunately, I just haven't got into it yet. But it is still something that I'm proud to own, because I assume at some point I will watch this. So I'll give you a better opinion on my thoughts on this eventually whenever I do watch it. And the final wall scroll that I have to show you off today is this one, and it is from A Place Further Than the Universe, otherwise known as my favorite anime of all time. This one, I was so excited whenever they announced that this was getting a little bit more merch. And they did this one, they did some acrylic stands. So I bought both. I bought an acrylic stand of each of these girls in this outfit. And unfortunately, what I realized then is, because I had the acrylic stand of each one of them, it made no sense to have the acrylic stands out and this out. So now it is just the acrylic stands that I have displayed, and this I keep in storage. But I am super happy to have this, and I wish that maybe someday they'd make a much bigger one that is maybe the official poster. I think that'd look really cool, but until then, this was really cool to own at the time being, but unfortunately, I just don't display it. So that is it for all of the wall scrolls that I own. Uh, What was your favorite? My favorite probably is still that 4 main girls from Love Live. That one was such a fun one to get whenever I got it. I loved that poster, and I have not taken it down since I've got it. I have no plans to take it down because that is the ideal wall scroll to me, is showing off something that you couldn't get. I hate when they just give you like the main poster from the series. Like that's like the Selection Project one that I got. It was cool, but I can see that on a Blu-ray cover. I can't get this type of artwork that is only available really on a wall scroll or maybe a magazine. It's something very unique. So I love when they do that. Other than that, I like the Conan one. I like the Licorice Recoil one right now, even though that's a newer one. So maybe that's recency bias. Eventually, I'm sure I will replace that because I'm getting more and more Licorice Recoil figurines and everything. So I'm usually, my goal for that corner is to have something that there's not a lot of figures in my collection. So I'm sure in the next year I will replace that with something else. But for now, I'm very happy with that one. I think the look on it is very cool. Out of the ones here that I don't have displayed, I mean, I like the lingerie ones from Rent a Girlfriend. I think they're unique, and I think they're just kind of something you probably wouldn't see otherwise. Well, I thought you wouldn't until we got a figure of Chizuru one, but a lot of cool ones. Everything here, I'm glad that I bought. I don't dislike that I bought anything here, so I'm very happy with all of them. But anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed looking at some of these. And I hope you enjoyed this new setup here I'm doing. I added some lighting. I added some different types of things to maybe improve the video quality so that you will have a better time watching. But anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe if you did enjoy. That helps me out and it lets me know that you're enjoying this. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.